Welcome to the channel, guys. My name's Danny Malcolm. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be helping you get out of greenside bunkers with that high soft landing shot. Great for if you've got a pin that's close to you or if you've got a high lip that you need to get over. So guys, there's a couple of key things that we need for this. So when we're in the greenside bunker here, to get that high soft landing shot, we need more loft. So really we need more loft. So I've got my lob wedge, my 58 degrees. So let's just ensure we've got the right implement, the right club, the right tool to do the job. Now we've also got to assess lie. Lie's always a huge aspect to dictate what you can and can't do for all shots in golf, particularly greenside bunkers. So I've got a nice lie here, fairly flattish lie, and so that's good for me to be able to have that loft and get the ball up nice and high. If it's obviously sat down a little bit more, or if it's in a plugged lie, you're not going to be able to play this shot. You've got to play it differently. So for this high one, we've got a decent lie. Now I've got more loft. Now the first piece is here with that loft, we need to maintain that through the swing. So a lot of players, one of the most common mistakes I see for the everyday golfer greenside is they start with the loft. So to start with their face open, then they take the grip, which is fantastic. But then what we do in the backswing, or what a lot of players will do, they'll start to flex their lead wrist excessively. So you'll see here, I start actually with extension in my lead wrist with the help of hack motion here. You can see I've got almost 30 degrees of extension there. Now in the backswing, a lot of players will then start to add more flexion and they get very flat with this lead wrist, and that's going to close the club face. It's going to expose the leading edge, get the leading edge digging in, and from there you're going to get those shots where it just goes long and left. That actually came out quite well, sort of dug that one out. But typically if you get that too much flexion, what will happen is you'll get that one just coming out a little bit low, chasing on, as you can see there, and it's very diggy. Look how much sand I've taken out there, geez. So we don't want to be getting too much flexion. What we like to see is in the backswing, staying in more this extension in that lead wrist, exposing the loft, exposing the bounce, so we can get the back of the club starting to smack and bounce out of that sand in that fashion. Almost the analogy, if you're in a pool of water up to your waist, you want the back of your hand to be sort of slapping that water, and that's what you want the sole of the club to sound like. You can hear that sort of thump through the sand. Now we do that by having good wrist conditions in the backswing. So here we are, extension, maintaining that through impact, trying to keep that club to the sky. Bunkers, finesse game, guys. Bunker is not the full swing. We're not trying to flush your 7-iron out of here. We're not trying to get into this shaft leany position, leading edge digging in. No good. We need that loft staying on. So as we come through, we're almost letting this club head past the hands. That's going to expose the loft, expose the bounce, keeping the club to the sky, and that ball is just going to go up. So here we are, extension, and maintain that through strike. And you can see how high and soft that landed. So you can see the extension maintained throughout there on the hack motion wrist sensor. So guys, huge piece. Let's make sure you're using those wrists correctly. Let's stop this full swing idea where you're getting that club face closed and getting diggy, creating big craters in the. We need that when you're plugged, a very different lie. But if you want to have a high soft one, we need to expose that bounce. So guys, that's the first piece. Secondary to that is ensuring that you've got your weight forward in this shot. Even though you're trying to hit it high, a lot of players again will, even if they've got good wrist mechanics and good club face, a lot of times they'll try and help it up in an effort to get height. But what starts to happen then, as we fall backwards, our low point shifts too far back, we're into the sand too early. Then as we come out, we get this drop kicky effect, and it's very easy to get that where you hit the lip, it comes back in, or it flies miles over the green. Not what we want. So guys, ensure that you keep your pressure forward. So here's your setup. We've got my face open, got my pressure. I love this lead foot flared out for players. It allows you to get that knee tracking over that toe, keep your pressure on your lead side, and as I swing back, my pressure's still on this side. I've got my wrist nicely extended, and I'm in a wonderful spot to let this club head release. So you keep the pressure forward, let the club head release, and that's just going to be a beautiful way to ensure a better chance of getting that good low point and getting that nice high soft shot, even with a little bit of spin on that one here. So guys, that's the first piece. Second piece, make sure you've got the pressure forward. the first piece, good wrist mechanics, and then finally, you know, all that's good and well, but we still need good skills. We could do that all well, but we could still hit in the wrong spot out of the bunker. So what I'd encourage typically is to try and hit about 1.5 inches behind the golf ball. So that's sort of what we're looking for, hitting that box out of the sand. Now, great skill to develop in that is the 2-line drill. So what I love to do here, I'll show you from this camera, is that line would be where my ball would be, which is positioned a little bit inside my lead heel. Now put another line about 1.5 to 2 inches behind, and you can simply walk down that line. So you could hover the golf club over where you want the club to enter and just make some swings. You try and get the club to hit that first line. Now, if you don't, you're either going to be too far back or you're going to be too far forward. And so this just helps you develop those skills of getting that good entry point, that good low point control. You could still have good mechanics, like I say, but you could still get a little bit early or a little bit late, and that's going to really affect your outcome. So guys, once you've done that a little bit there, a little bit of a line drill, then you can go in. When you're practicing, you can have that intention. You can even put a bit of a line there, just have that focal point, that intention, and then you're going to really just try and hover it over that point and just let the club do the job. So guys, that's my top tips to get some more height out of that greenside bunker. So again, number 1 is add more lofts to get your most lofted club. Open it up to the degree that your lie allows. Obviously, if it's not a great lie, then don't open it up too much. Very easy to start to get that drop kicky effect, and you could get the more chance of that bladey shot. So ensure it's got a decent lie, and that will dictate how much you can open it up. You've also need to maintain that loft throughout the swing by keeping that extension in that lead wrist and through impact, and that's going to help you keep the loft on, utilize the bounce as well. Second piece is having that pressure forward, and that's going to really give you a better chance of getting that good entry point. And then the final piece is actually just practicing where you're entering the sand. So guys, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please post them below, and let's keep the conversation going. And if you'd like any more free tips to help you improve your game, please click the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.